Okay, this is for anybody that has ever caught themselves calling themselves dumb or calling themselves stupid or telling themselves that they're ridiculous. If you've ever used those words to describe your behaviors or to describe yourself or to describe your situation, this is the video for you because I want you to lock in on the power of your words. All right, the power of your words. And so when I work with clients and I hear them saying things that are contrary to what they want, I call them out on it. I'm like, hey, you just said that you don't know if you can accomplish X, or you just said that you doing this is kind of like ridiculous, or I give them their words back. I give them the words back to them because many times we are saying things based on just practice and habit of how we have been taught to talk about ourselves or just how we have conditioned ourselves to talk about ourselves. And I want you to consider, is the way that I'm talking about myself, is the way that I'm talking about my situation hindering me from getting the results that I desire in my life? And so this is going to take some self-reflection. This is going to take some self-awareness. How am I talking about myself? How am I talking about my situation? How do I talk about other people? These are direct ways of knowing how you feel about you, your perspective about you, and it is likely not assisting you in getting the results that you want. Now, here's the thing, and I say this to everybody: if you are getting results in your life that you like, then don't worry about what I'm saying. But if you're on this channel, if you're in this video watching this, then I just believe that it's time for you to change how you're speaking about yourself so that you can get different results. And so this is where I want you to start. And this is what I do with a lot of my clients, especially when I hear them having a lot of negative self talk about themselves or their situation. I just want you for a week, I want you to monitor what you are saying about three things. I want you to monitor what you're saying about yourself. And what I mean by that is not, we're not literally just saying stuff about ourselves like directly, or maybe you are in the mirror, like Issa Rae, but maybe you are saying it in your mind. I just want you to catch yourself. I want you to just get real mindful of what you're saying about yourself. And I don't want you to shame yourself and like, oh my goodness, I suck. Why am I saying this about myself? I'm so dumb. Like, now you're continuing to do it. Don't do that. I want you to just notice it and I want you to write it down. So I'm a journal girl, so I want you to have a journal, write it down, put it in your notes. I want you to just write the things that you are saying about yourself and just notice it, right? And it's just like, man, I just said that about myself. Okay. I see you, Desiree. You out here saying this, right? I just want you to get aware. I want you to also consider, how do you talk about other people? And what I mean by that is, like, usually we are a mirror of how we talk about other people. If we are usually affirming to other people or saying positive things to other people, we're typically doing that to ourselves most times, not all the time. But usually we are a reflection of how we talk about other people or to other people. So I just want you to consider, what are you saying to other people, or what are you saying about other people? What, even if it's just in your mind, you might not be saying it out loud to them. But maybe you're saying it in your head. So I want you to jot that down. What are you saying about other people? How are you judgy with other people? Like, and that might be how you're also talking to yourself. I always think this part is interesting because I do believe it's very true. Like, ooh, if I just say that about them, how am I holding myself back? Because I'm probably saying this about me. So go ahead and jot that down. And then I want you to think about, what are you saying about your situation? So when I'm working with people that they're looking to move to a different city or country or what have you, or they're looking to change their career, they're looking to be promoted, they're looking to start their business or start being a subject matter expert, a thought leader, building their personal brand. When they're looking to do these different things, I'm always asking them, what their thoughts are about the situation. Like, when they think about creating this, what are they saying about it? Are they saying it's too hard? Are they saying it's impossible? Are they saying, like, this is only for certain people and not me? I want you to consider, what are you actually saying about your situation, and just jot it down. You don't have to, like I said, judge yourself. Now, this is going to give you the meat that you need to really transform your life. And I'm so serious about this because our life can be transformed by our words. Life and death is in the power of the tongue. That is a scripture. And there are so many other philosophies that point to the power of words. And I think that we play down the power of words because we're like, oh, it's not that big of a deal. Again, if this is you, then go ahead and live your life, because maybe you don't need this. Everything in your life is great. But sarcastically, If it's not, which I'm sure there is something that you desire better, I want you to consider how your words can be a catalyst for changing this. Now, the beauty of this is changing your words is going to change who you are. Changing your words is going to change who you are, because now you're going to have to start identifying as someone that isn't a Debbie Downer. I'm sorry if your name is Debbie. You're going to have to start identifying yourself as someone that is more on the positive end and not a pessimistic, or I'm a cynic, or whatever identity that you have put a trophy next to that's not helping you get your life. You know what I'm saying? You have to kind of really die to some of the things that you have leaned on as a part of your personality and you put so much pride in. So it's going to be scary to even just change your words at first, because you may have been leaning on the fact that this is just who I am, and you don't want to look different or like you're a traitor around these other people that don't have to live your life and not have the results that you want. And so I want you to just take a deep breath and be okay with the fact that it's going to be some discomfort and awkwardness in the beginning, but at the end, you're going to have more of what you desire. You're going to feel differently about your life, and in a way that feels good and not feel so tight and so negative or so stressful or so anxious. And I really want that for you. And so you got to want it for you too, and be ready for this change. So now that you did all this, so if you do this for a week, I promise you're going to be like, what? I think like this? And that's okay. Forgive yourself, and then I want you to start replacing your words. Now do it a little by little, and I always like start with yourself. Start with how you're talking to yourself. If you start with how you're talking to yourself, I guarantee that that's going to make everything else easier. And so I want you to not only change it for yourself, but find people that are in your life that can hold you accountable for changing it to yourself. So maybe you have people in your life that, real talk, they're really good at doing these things in your life, that are making sure that they're like always reframing their own thoughts. And so if they're reframing their own thoughts, then they're probably like a really good accountability partner for you to reframe your thoughts. And so I want you to consider, who in my life can help me stay accountable for who I am right now that I'm deciding to be? How can they help me? Okay, so reframing how you say what you've been saying negatively is going to be a game changer. And I want you to start with yourself. If you start changing how you say things to yourself, it's going to make it so much easier to do everything else. And so, one way to do that is just take the first couple things that you see yourself saying about yourself and think about, well, what is the opposite? So, if you've been telling yourself that you're dumb, tell yourself that you're smart, right? If you're telling yourself you're so anxious, just telling yourself, you know what, I'm really not anxious. I'm just concerned about some things, right? And do it from a tone like that. Because it's okay to be concerned, but you don't have to be anxious. It's just like, I'm concerned about these things, right? And give yourself different words to view it, to reframe yourself. And that alone is going to be a game changer, because now you're starting to talk to yourself gently. You're starting to talk to yourself nice. Talk to yourself nice. Talking to yourself nice is going to be a game changer for you. All right. And so after you talk to yourself nice, then start talking about other people nice. How can I start talking about other people nice? And then do the same thing for your situation. You see, it's going to be a ripple effect. The more you talk about yourself from a place that is empowering, that is positive, start talking about other people that way, your situations, you get what you focus on. You're going to start getting different results, because now you're talking about yourself from a place of power. You're talking about others from a place of power. You're talking about your situation from a place of power. And you're doing it with a place of, I have control over something in my life, and that is my words. And my words can change my world when I'm consistently doing it and I have belief in the words that I'm saying. Now, if you don't have belief in what you're saying, it's going to be pretty tough. But I want you to say it before the belief comes. Now, I know that sounds weird, but I know that sometimes belief comes after we say it over and over. So I talked about it in another video where I didn't have a $20,000 client yet. A $20,000 one-on-one client is what I desired. And I did have the belief, so I kept saying the words, but that doesn't mean there weren't some days that, because I didn't have that client yet, that I was like, okay, God, for real? Is this what we're doing? But I just kept saying it until it manifested in my life. And so the same thing is that you keep saying, I am beautiful, I am beautiful. And it's already manifested, but it's like the switch is going to come off at some point when we're saying it and we're doing things aligned with a believing it. And so, with your words, how can I do things that align with my belief in it? And so, if I believe I am smart, if I believe I am an expert in something, what is something that I can do on a regular? What can I enter into my regular life that'll help me solidify that for me with action? And so, what would that? How would that help me with someone else? How would that help me with my situation? How can we solidify what we're saying with action so that our mind will have an easier time believing it? And so I want you to practice these things because I do believe truly the power of words and how it can transition your life. It definitely transitioned even one of my recent clients. She got promoted after 3 months of us working together because of what she said about herself and her situation. She desired to have a higher promotion in her job. And at first she was like, oh, I have to do all these things. And I'm like, you don't have to do all these things. You just need to say what you desire and keep talking about it like it's already yours. And that is literally what she did. And she made herself believe it by doing things that were aligned to what she created in her mind. And so, if this is like your kind of stuff and this is what you know is going to help you get to the other side of what you desire in your life, I want you to go ahead and click the link below and download my Main Character Energy 21-day playbook. It's really going to help you get more of what you want by becoming the main character of your story. Really, that full life transformation of who you know you need to be to have what you desire in your life. And if you want it, go ahead and get it. Click below. And I can't wait to see you in the next video.